earth where we stand is the pure lotus land, and this very body, the body of Buddha. This is the fourth day of this January 1982 7-day sesshin. And we will once more read from and comment on letters and lectures of Zen master Ta Hui from a book called Swampland Flowers, translated by Christopher Cleary. There's a letter which is called Contemplating No, or Mu. You inform me that as you respond to circumstances in your daily involvement with differentiated objects, you're never not in the Buddha Dharma. You inform me that as you respond to circumstances in your daily involvement with differentiated objects, you're never not in the Buddha Dharma. You also say that amidst your daily activities and conduct, you use the saying, "A dog has no Buddha nature," to clear away emotional defilements. If you make efforts like this, I'm afraid you'll never attain enlightened entry. Please examine what's under your feet. Where do differentiated objects arise from? How can you smash emotional defilements in the midst of your activities with the saying, "A dog has no Buddha nature"? Oh, Mu. Oh. Who is it who can know he's clearing away emotional defilements? People who have practiced or questioned, worked on the Koan Mu for years and years, and say at times in Doksan, all of a sudden I've realized I use that thing so I don't have to look at anything else. And not just on the mat, but in my daily life, I just realize the fear comes up and Mu, I just push it out of the way. Never looked at anything. I've used Mu as an escape. And then the question endlessly, how can I bring my practice and my daily life together? Please tell me, how can I do it? Because they seem two different worlds. The world of the center where everything is orderly and neat and prim and proper and quiet, and my home. Please examine what's under your feet, wherever you are. Examine it. Not swish it under the rug. How can you smash emotional defilements in the midst of your activities with questioning Mu or Hu? Don't they need to be looked at, seen, felt? Right to the root of it, right to the root, bottom, origin of it. What's bringing them about? Where do they come from? Who is it who can know he's clearing away emotional defilements? How do you know you've cleared them away? You just have kept them locked away, but not cleared away. Do you see the difference? Clearing away is bringing them out into clarity, allowing them to rise into the sunlight, the daylight of awareness. This needs no analysis. Things have a way of revealing themselves very clearly if we don't push them under lock and cover. If we're not afraid of what we're going to see because of these strong images of what kind of a personality and character we should be, which has been pounded into us by parents and teachers who were pounded themselves by their parents. Endless pounding through generations. Physically or mentally. It doesn't have to be physical, it can just be with a look. A forbidding gesture. The evil eye. Ta Hui continues, didn't Buddha say sentient beings are inverted, they lose themselves and pursue things? They lose themselves and pursue things. In the context of we were just reading, one could say, one doesn't see what's in oneself, but one pursues and persecutes that in others. Criticizes it, rejects it, judges it in others. This burden falls off of one if one starts looking right here. Then one is looking at everyone, because we're not so different from each other. We aren't different from each other. In all these what is called emotional defilements. I don't like to use the word defilement. There's already guilt locked into that. What is it? How do we live? How do we respond? All this envy and jealousy. Rivalry to outdo, to become top dog. Which means stepping on others inevitably. This craving for some position, for being somebody, something. Or the agony of being a loser. Often goes together with trying to get on top. It is not dissociated from really at bottom feeling oneself a loser, insufficient, incomplete, inadequate. Sentient beings are inverted. They lose themselves and pursue things. Because one doesn't know who one is. In every sense. One pursues things and one pursues people. It's interesting, so often here, in so many Zen texts, the objects are always underlined and not the people. in your daily involvement with differentiated objects, you're never not in the Buddha Dharma, says this man. What about in daily relationship with human beings? That at that time maybe was taken much more for granted. It was so regulated in Chinese society how one conducted oneself in relationship to this person, where this person stood in one's family, all these different terms for different types of uncles and nieces. It was all prescribed behavior. And of course, superiors and inferiors, Confucianism just prescribed relationship very thoroughly and what attitudes to assume. Respect, bowing, filial piety. And yet some of these great sages, Lao Tzu, he said, where there is a lot of filial piety, there is no love between parents and children. Cutting right through this form and saying where we cling to form, and where we prescribe it and follow it obediently and thoroughly, there's no love. How could there be? Ta Hui continues. Basically, things have no inherent nature. Those who lose themselves pursue them on their own. Originally, objects are undifferentiated, meaning before a name or a use was put onto something, or a purpose. Things are undifferentiated. One no better or no worse than the other. Everything just as it is. Those who lose themselves do their own differentiating. Not knowing who or what one is, everything else becomes so important. So one has something to lose oneself into, because one doesn't want to look at home, at the mess. You say, Ta Hui continues, you say you have daily contact with differentiated objects, and you're also within the Buddha Dharma. If you're in the Buddha Dharma, it's not an object of differentiation. If you're among differentiated objects, then it's not the Buddha Dharma. Pick one up, let one go. What end will there be? Right now in the Sesshin, we have 3 people who are coming to Sesshin who are also going home because they have little children. And it's dawning. Something about this differentiation and the question, how can this all come together? Or maybe that it isn't so different after all. Be good if everybody could do that. At times, at least. Go home and come back the same day. At the Nirvana Assembly, Ta Hui continues, The broad-browed butcher put down his slaughtering knife and immediately attained Buddhahood where he stood. The story, I've never read it, only heard it. This butcher attended. Apparently still had his knife with him. Heard, understood, and was done with his means of livelihood. Was done with it. He just walked away from it. It was finished. There were more interesting aspects to it, which I forget. I think some disciples wondering, how could this be with such a karma? You know, karma can end any moment, any instant. Karma can come to an end. Karma being no other than our past conditioning and programs. Just because they're there, just because they're built up, doesn't mean they have to continue forever and ever and ever. That would be quite a specter. So people saying, I have this heavy karma, you know, begins to be used sort of as an excuse. Understanding, seeing, is the end of karma, and that there is no karma. If it was karma, it wouldn't be seeing. Then it would be just some more speculating, some more thinking about what's going on. Or seeing things through formulations of other people. The broad-browed butcher put down his knife and immediately attained Buddhahood, where he stood. How could you have so much sadness and sorrow? Says Ta Hui, we don't have these letters, unfortunately. We don't know what the people wrote. In your daily activities, as you respond to circumstances, as soon as you become aware of being involved with differentiated objects, just go right to the differentiating, to raise the saying, a dog has no Buddha nature. Go right to your problem, to your anger, to your irritation, and move. What is it? Not feeling bad. Hey, I shouldn't be irritated. After all, I do zazen. What will my husband think? You are irritated. It's a fact. Move. What is it? What is it? Directly, as it arises, right now, not the next minute, or not tomorrow when I sit again, or the next time I go to Sesshin, I'll look at it. Don't think of it as clearing away. That's also good. Don't think of it, I got to clear this away here, right here and now. You don't know whether you're going to clear it away or not. It may persist. How do you know? You got to question it. Look at it. Be that. Be intimate with it. Know nothing that separates you from it, which means no thought of good or bad, right or wrong, zazen or no zazen. What is it? Don't think of it as clearing away, and don't think of it as emotional defilement. We build up these concepts, and religions help us do that. It's a strange fact, but it is so. emotional defilements, shortcomings, sins. Every religion has its own terms. And then methods to give us temporary relief. Confession, repentance. Has one seen through the thing? That's important. Without any image of oneself at all, or see through the image. Very important to observe if one does go to repentance and confession. Is there a new image of a confessor, a repenter? As one says it, isn't there an image? Is there? Many people have told me that. I've seen it myself. And how does one see the people who confess and repent? Does this clear away images? Or does it leave a mark in the mind? There must be incredible, total attention for this not to leave a mark of what this person repented. Is there this attention so that no mark is left? Is that the place for it? Or is any time, any place the place for it? Find out. And where does the relief come from? You must examine that. There are comforting words in there. Comforting thoughts. In the future, I'll be a Buddha. In the past, the Buddha has been like me. Don't think of it as clearing away, and don't think of it as emotional defilement. Don't think of it as differentiation, and don't think of it as the Buddha Dharma. Simply contemplate the saying, a dog has no Buddha nature. Meaning, moo, what is moo? What is this moo? Or what is who? But they must be brought together. That sentence is very long to do that with. Just bring up the word mu, he says here, the word no. But not as a broom. It's a delicate thing. Mu means, I don't know. No, nothing. What is nothing? You can't just say this anger is nothing. It's very real, isn't it? Raising one's voice, lashing out, verbally or physically, or just all this adrenaline arising, and furious thoughts swirling around the mind. What is it? Attention turned inward without leaving the outside. And don't set your mind on it and await enlightenment. If you do, objects and the Buddha Dharma are differentiated. emotional defilements, and the saying, a dog has no Buddha nature, are differentiated. Here's this, and if I do that long enough, this will sort of somehow or other be taken care of. Interrupted and uninterrupted are differentiated. We once had a reading of a woman who participated in a sesshin in New Mexico, where she took her turn tending to the children. But since the children had toys and they had a little compound, she thought she'd get some zazen in. But her little 3-year-old wouldn't let her. Came up and said, "Mommy, come see something." And very resistant and annoyed, she kind of went with the child. And the child said, "Look, the clouds, the moon." For the child, there was no differentiation. It was all looking, seeing, as though for the first time, and wanting to share that. Which is love. Interrupting and interrupted and uninterrupted are differentiated. Can this differentiation drop away? My zazen got interrupted. Oh, I got to interrupt this and do some zazen. When will these two fuse and merge? What is that condition in which they're not two? Which doesn't mean that sitting crossing the legs, sitting for 70 in sesshin, there's something about that that's different from working in a steel mill or driving a bus or watching TV. What is the difference? Encountering the confusion of emotional defilements so body and mind are unsettled, and being able to know so many differentiations are also differentiated. I won't read over this, it's a little complicated. If you want to remove this disease, just contemplate the word no. Let's not say contemplate. It's questioning. Maybe contemplation means this. We don't know what the original said. Just look at the broad-browed butcher putting down his knife and saying, "I am one of the 1,000 Buddhas." True or false? If you assess it as false or true, again you plunge into objects of differentiation. It's not as good as cutting it in two with a single stroke. Don't think of before and after. If you think of before and after, this is more differentiating. One person who mentioned walking in the garden, the thought coming up, how much longer will I be able to walk in this garden? How many more days of sesshin? What will I do after that? And the crunching in the snow isn't heard. The cold air in the face isn't felt. Not as cold air in the face. As what? just as that, without words. Is that possible? Huan Sha said, this matter, quote, cannot be limited. The road of thought is cut off. It does not depend on an array of adornments. This matter cannot be limited. The road of thought is cut off, or comes to an end, or stops on its own. Who cuts it off? It just is no longer relevant. Because there's listening, but not listening with the ear and wanting to grasp it and cling to it. You are that sound. It is you sounding. It does not depend on an array of adornments. From the beginning, it's been real and pure. Moving, acting, talking, laughing, clearly understanding wherever you are, there's nothing more lacking. People these days do not understand the truth in this and vainly involve themselves with sensory phenomena. Involving here meaning becoming attached to them, depending on them for comfort, or for an escape so as not to have to face what one is running away from. Getting defiled all over and tied down everywhere. Even if they understand, sense objects are present in complex confusion. Names and forms are not genuine, so they try to freeze their minds and gather in their attention, taking things and returning them to emptiness. He's talking again about this method of making oneself empty, sort of closing ears and eyes and using something to become drowned in. Taking things and returning them to emptiness, shutting their eyes, hiding their eyes. If a thought starts up, they immediately demolish it. As soon as the slightest conception arises, they immediately press it down. This is where there's still the controller there, the censor, who has to recognize what comes up and then repress it. In awareness, there is no repression. Something may come up, and one simply will not enter in on it. Why should one go down a blind alley? If it's clear that it is that, or a waste of energy. A tiring tirade of some sort. Why even start it? It wants to come up, but why even enter in on it? To see it at a glance in moo or who, or the breathing, or just sitting. Those with a view like this, Ta Hui says, are outsiders who have fallen into empty annihilation, dead people whose spirits have not yet departed, dark and silent without awareness or understanding. They're covering their ears to steal the bell, vainly deluding themselves. That's a saying often quoted. Somebody said it. It's quite good. Imagine trying to steal a bell in an inept manner so it still rings while you're stealing it. So in order not to hear your own ineptness, you cover your ears. All you said in your letter was the disease Huan Cha condemned, the perverted Zen of quiescent illumination, a pit to bury people in. You must realize this. When you bring up a saying or a word or a question, don't use so many maneuvers at all. Just don't let there be any interruption, whether you're walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. But there are interruptions, aren't there? So, what can you do about it? It happened. And all of a sudden you wake up, like one person came to Doksan and said, my God, I've been sleeping all this time. Is it finished? With that realization, is it done? And one can start working. Not working oneself up into regret and remorse over wasted time. That's more dreaming, more thinking, and no questioning. It's actually simpler than easier than questioning. Questioning happens with the momentum of all these habits right there. Questioning them. Which requires tremendous energy. Don't discriminate joy and anger. Discriminating here, we say don't name them, don't label them, don't know them. Don't discriminate joy and anger, sorrow and bliss. Don't know them doesn't mean ignore them. You are that. What is it? If you have no word for it, no reaction to it, then you have a chance to find out what it is at root bottom. Just keep on bringing up the saying, raising it and raising it, looking and looking. When you feel there's no road for reason and no flavor, and in your mind you're oppressed and troubled, this is the place for each person to abandon his body and his life. Remember, don't shrink back in your mind when you see a realm like this. Such a realm is precisely the scene for becoming a Buddha and being a patriarch. Not for becoming a Buddha, for waking up to the fact that there is, after all, no division. Between you and me. When you feel there's no road for reason and no flavor, stale, people saying, just sitting in front of a wall. There's nothing I can do. Well, then don't do anything and question Mu. You say, well, that's doing something. No. It's questioning this wall, which is yourself. You are that wall. It's not outside of you. What is it? And in your mind you're oppressed and troubled. really oppressed. One can feel physically oppressed. So one thinks one can't get another breath. Pain, tension, feeling ill, really ill. Not everybody. Don't think something must be wrong with me because I don't feel ill. Don't think anything. If it's there, if it comes up, don't do anything about it. Let it be. Don't shrink back when you see a realm like this. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Find out what's going to happen. Maybe it'll be the end of the me. At least for a moment. We'll always start modestly. And yet the false teachers of silent illumination just consider wordlessness as the ultimate principle, calling it the matter of, quote, the other side of the primordial Buddha, or of, quote, before the empty eon. They don't believe there's a gate of enlightenment and consider enlightenment as a lie, as something secondary, as an expedient word, as an expression to draw people in. This crowd deceive others and deceive themselves, lead others into error and go wrong themselves. You should also realize this. Sometimes people say this, well, the way you talk, is there nothing? Then there's nothing, is there? Well, find out if there's something or not. Other than the daily drudgery, the fears, the anger. But you can't just repress this and then hope for something to happen. The road goes right through all this. Has to be a thorough house cleaning. Where every bit of inventory is aired. Or is there a time when maybe the air blows in and airs it all in one fell swoop? Or airing one is airing them all? Find out. In the conduct of your daily activities, as you involve with differentiated objects, when you become aware of saving power, of saving energy, this is where you gain energy. Which means when you become aware of wasting energy and don't just perpetuate it, but abstain from that waste, then you gain energy. It accumulates, it gathers on its own. Gaining power is the ultimate in saving power. If you use the slightest power to uphold it, this is definitely a false method. I want to preserve this now. I've worked hard enough to get it. I want to preserve it. There's already a motive again. Wanting to use something, manipulate something. And it's a waste. It's a leak. If you use the slightest power to uphold it, this is definitely a false method. It's not Buddhism. Just take the mind so long-lasting and bring it together with a saying, mu. Keep them together till the mind has no place to go. Suddenly it's like awakening from a dream. like a lotus flower opening, like parting the clouds and seeing the moon. When you reach such a moment, naturally you attain unity. Through the upsets and errors of your daily activities, just question Mu or Hu. Don't become concerned with awakening or not awakening, getting through or not getting through. All the Buddhas of the three worlds were just unconcerned people. People for whom there's nothing. All the generations of patriarchs, too, were just people without concerns. An ancient worthy said, "Just comprehend nothingness in the midst of things. Unconcern amidst concern. When seeing forms and hearing sounds, don't act blind and deaf. Open, no resistance to what is, ugly or beautiful, difficult or easy. Gentlemen of affairs these days, though, are quick to want to understand Zen. They think a lot about the scriptural teachings and the sayings of the patriarchal teachers, wanting to be able to explain clearly. They're far from knowing that this clarity is nonetheless an unclear matter. If you can penetrate the word Mu or Hu, you won't have to ask anyone else about clear and unclear. I teach gentlemen of affairs to let go and make themselves dull. This is the same principle. Make themselves dull is what we call not knowing. Renouncing one's cleverness. And it's not bad to get first prize in looking dull, either. I'm just afraid you'll hand in an empty paper. What a laugh. We'll end here for today. The four vows.
All beings without number,
I vow to liberate endless blind passions. I vow to uproot Dharma gates beyond measure. I passions, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates beyond measure, I vow to penetrate the great way of Buddha. I vow to attain all beings without number. I vow to liberate endless blind passions. I vow to uproot Dharma gates beyond measure. I vow to penetrate the